What they do, y'all. How y'all doing out there?
Hi.
Hopefully y'all doing great out there.
They are.
Especially over the holidays.
Yes,
right?
it is the holiday season.
I know y'all full from Thanksgiving.
Yes, they are.
I mean, full.
They full.
I mean, from the back to the front of the stomach.
Wait, all that?
All that. And up here.
And up
closer
here?
to the diaphragm.
Listen,
Yeah.
that's too much.
Yeah. I mean, all the way around.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Hello.
So what they do?
Hey, y'all.
Tribe, Jewels and Aces. How y'all doing out there?
Hi, we miss you all.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
This is like the first weekend of December?
Yes.
And we're almost like to the tail end of 2021.
Facts.
Listen, blessings on blessings that we're still here.
I know.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Thank God for that one.
Hey, we're going to drop a gem. Listen, we still breathing. Listen, that was just for life.
Yeah.
All right.
So what they do?
Hey.
So this week,
All right.
yeah, we're gonna still finish our episode of our book, right?
All right.
Going into the house of building a healthy relationship.
Hello.
So this week we are traveling to another part of the house.
Okay.
And that's to build what, T?
We're going to talk about the types of intimacy.
The types of intimacy.
Because, when you hear the word intimacy, what is the first thing you think of? Let's be real.
Sex,
It's the sex, right? The physical.
Flipping them.
But
and down,
it's
around and
more. It's more. It's just more to it.
I'm thinking of flipping. Y'all thinking of love making.
Oh, you think about flipping.
Yeah.
Like, woo, you flipping them pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
making a whole omelet out here.
A whole omelet.
A pretzel.
A pretzel.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I love it.
Okay.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, let's get it, T.
All right.
All right. What they do. This your boy DP.
This your girl T.
And we're the Gemini Gems, representing for the Geminis across the world, giving our own Miami perspective.
For sure. So
you can follow us on all podcast platforms at Geminis-Gems.
Also follow us on Instagram, Geminis_Gems, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Geminis Gems.
Hey, make sure you like, follow, you comment, and you subscribe. Yes. And make sure when you type it in, it's Geminis with the S, Gems with a Z. And what we do, T?
Drop them gems.
So the intimacies can be emotional, mental. What else I got here? Spiritual, and of course the physical.
Of course.
So we already expound on the mental with our first chapter.
Gotcha.
So we can go towards the emotional.
All right.
So actually dealing with these issues, dealing with intimacy, we deal with people's emotions.
Right.
Okay. So what I put was with the emotions is the past traumas, hurts, abuse, trust, enjoyment, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, the confusion, the strengths, and I guess I put energized, and I guess to bring forth a great energy to someone's emotion. So what you got for me, T?
You just said all of that, right? I'm trying to figure out, how did we as people, as human, how did we get here? Like, why do we have all of these crazy emotions and feelings? Like, why life can't be, nothing is perfect. I get
Facts.
it, right?
Facts.
But why
life is what you make it.
Life is what you make it,
exactly.
Right? So I think that's what it is, because I feel that so many people emotional nowadays, but I feel that we all need to learn how to handle those emotions.
Facts.
You understand? Like, people have some people are probably out there with anxiety and all of these depressions and all of the listings of emotions you just stated, but how are we able to cope with it? How are we able to handle that and really deal with this on a daily basis without medication?
Right.
You get it?
Right.
Because I'm not fond of the medication.
Facts.
So for me, I was like, oh, T, you you coming down with some anxiety. So I had to learn that after my dad passing. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be on medication. So what else can I do? So for me, when it comes to the emotional intimacy, again, I'm still working on myself.
Right.
You get it? So knowing yourself, and that part of knowing yourself, I feel that it has something to do with also the intimacy, because I need to master it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. It does. So with what you're saying, dealing with the situation, you have to deal with it. You have to face it face on, like head on, right?
Okay.
So so when you went through your trauma, right?
Yes.
Or being hurt, or being, someone leaving you.
Right.
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 You do not push it to the back burner, meaning you don't continue life trying to, let's say, cope with it. Right.
Okay.
Or put a Band-Aid on it for the time now.
Okay.
Right. But what you do is you try to face it head on.
Right.
So when you start crying, you're not shaking yourself so you can stop crying about your loved one or whatever the trauma is.
Right.
You deal with it head on. You go ahead and cry.
Yes.
Like dealing with a passing of a loved one, depending on how close they are,
right.
I think you have to deal with it right then and there.
Yes.
You cannot put it on the back burner.
Right.
At no point. Other than that, if you do,
right.
what tends to happen is pressure begins to build up.
Oh my goodness.
And then anxiety begins to come thereafter.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
So
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I had experience with that too. Both what you're saying.
Okay.
So even recently, last night, it was they played the Christmas song Silent Night by The Temptation.
Gotcha.
And it threw me, my memories to where my dad, he brought me this Yamaha piano.
Gotcha.
And you could just press the button and it played the Silent Night instrumental.
Wow.
I'm driving in the car, I'm bawling. But again, it goes back to what you said. I had to release it. Regardless, because if I didn't release it, now I'm going back to where I had a situation recently to where I was holding an emotion in, and I had to call my grandmother. And I called my grandmother on this because I was like, I have someone in my life, and I was not expecting this particular person to be in my life so soon, but it's happening.
Right.
And you kind of grow feelings for someone.
Of course.
Very hard feelings.
Right.
To the point when you be like those 4-letter words, LOVE. So I'm holding all of these positive emotions in, but I'm making my body sick. I'm getting a headache. I'm feeling nauseous. I'm feeling vomiting. I'm like, why am I feeling all that? And my grandma said, you just need to tell the person you love them. You need to release it. Because how you explaining to me what your body is going through, all because you don't want to express your emotions, and you put in a stamp, or when I just met this person, like my grandmother give it to me real, okay?
Right.
And so it just go back to what you were saying, like we're not built to hold our emotions in, regardless if it's negative or positive.
Facts.
We need to release it.
Facts.
And I just wanted to share my personal story.
Yeah, so releasing it is actually bringing forth, let's say, positive energy.
Yes.
Towards your emotional state of mind.
Okay.
And then if you do hold this stuff in, what tends to happen is that your body breaks down.
Yes, it
does. If you're angry, it's okay to be angry.
Right.
But just don't let the sun, go down on your wrath.
Right.
Meaning express your anger at some point and get over it.
Right.
Don't linger,
Right.
So working in a relationship, having with someone,
yes,
you have to express all of the emotions.
All of the emotions.
You get what I'm saying? But it's what you really focus on. If you're focused on being happy in the relationship,
right,
that's a great thing.
Yes.
But if you always focusing on, let's say, sometimes I know for me, sometimes I focus on the bad.
Okay.
I was talking with my coworker and
All
I was
right.
like, I think I focus too much on the bad.
All right. Gotcha.
And not highlight the great attributes within my relationship. So
Right.
that's probably one of the reasons why some of my relationships were end, shortly, because I'm just highlighting more of the
negative.
Right.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the sadness
Right.
that always comes. But what I'm learning is to turn it into something positive.
Turn that
how do
negative
you,
to positive.
you know, how do you transfer the bad emotion into the good emotions? And I think you just try to make light of it. Now, also too, my job has taught me, you know, you only got one life. Right. Your life is nothing but a mist that's here, and then you're gone. But enjoy it while you're here. You don't have to do the far extreme things. But just enjoy your life and not just stay in your sorrows or whatever your traumas may be.
I agree.
Right. So I'm gonna just give you this stat, and then we're gonna move on real quick. So around holiday season, a lot of people are sad because they have no one. So I always wanted to, let's say, announce that people need to get over their own self and make some friends. The loved ones that you do have, become more loving to them. You know,
I love that.
And try to focus on bringing positivity to your life. It's okay. You know, to get over that trauma, get over the sadness, get over the hurt. You get what I'm saying? Go towards being more happy. Because with that statistic or with that stat, people kill themselves around holiday season. That's when they most likely start to kill themselves. Or go into their coping mechanism. So if they're on drugs, they do it even more because they become more depressed around this time. And then they end up ODing. You get what I'm saying? And not to bring it to a sad note, but just to turn it into a positive. Let's get better on that. Let's change our paradigm shift, like create the paradigm shift where we are better mentally, so to make ourselves happy. And
so when you said the word happy, I feel that some people, or maybe most, I feel that a lot of people don't think they deserve to be happy. And I feel that when happiness come, I feel like some people or most don't even know how to handle happiness. Because their lives or, you know, decisions or, you know, things probably are more negative than happiness. But when the happiness come, how do they embrace it? How do they keep the happiness?
Whatever their formula is to turn that negative into a positive, that's what they have to focus on. That's what they have to keep revisiting. You get what I'm saying? That's why you use the same tactics to succeed. Like making a sacrifice or doing the things that is needed to make yourself accomplish that goal. So whatever the happiness, especially if you're searching for happiness, some people just searching for, let's say, materialistic things, or just being something more than what they can really be. Right? They do the most with that. Right. But just searching for happiness should be a key object that we do search for or want to accomplish in our lives. Not materialistic things, just saying.
Right. I agree.
Right. So it should be more personal things, more personal accomplishments. Like, what knowledge did I get this week from my grandparents or my parents or some friends? Did I do something for somebody this week? And when you start to focus on good energy, it starts to reciprocate itself back to you. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I feel like. And what you think, T?
I want to agree. Because for me, I'm a giver.
And yes, you are.
What makes me happy, I just want to give
20 cakes.
Like 20. That was a minimum. So I cake sale the side off. We actually had 28. It was 28 with 4 banana puddings. And that was that, right? Boom. Okay, so back. So with the happiness, right? I'm a giver. And so I 1000% agree. Like, at the end of the day, life is not, I learned it's not all about me. So when you bless others, you know, you'll receive that at least 3, 5, 10 times more back. So I'm just like,
especially the people towards the people that do for you.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm listen, it's the holiday season. So this is why I love the holiday season. Not to get off subject.
Right.
It's because this is a time of love. This is a time of giving. This is the time for thanks. This is
Facts.
time for God, love,
Right.
family. So
Right.
it's just
Family.
this
Right.
is my holiday time.
Right. I hear you.
So you see why I was like, let's do these series. Let's
Yeah.
end it
Yeah.
off right.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I
What
got
you got?
you.
What's the
So
next one?
the next one would
All
be
right.
and I know I didn't bring this one up, but
Okay.
sociable, being socializing within your relationship is also an intimacy.
Yes.
Where you communicate.
Yes.
Self-consciousness.
Yes.
Nervousness, shy, just being figuring those things out, how to
Right.
overcome those things.
Yes.
Speaking your truth, building
Ooh.
foundation. How many? This is a question. How many
Okay.
kids do you want to have? These are
Ooh.
the conversations you should be having in your relationship.
Yes.
Depending on the dynamic, right?
Right.
So, we could just talk about that.
Okay.
Being a people person, being friendly.
All right.
Again,
Sociable.
opening yourself
All
up,
right.
not just social media.
No.
Right?
Right.
But opening yourself up to individuals where you can build.
Right. Especially your loved one.
Facts.
Especially your person you're dating, your significant other, your spouse, whatever synonym you want to say.
Facts.
And if you don't talk, how would the other person know?
Fact.
You understand? So I'm in a place like, no, put the TV on mute or turn the TV off.
Turn the TV off.
Okay, let's turn the TV
I'm
off.
in the full agreement with that.
Listen, let's turn the TV off. And guess what? The TV goes off. And so much conversation is being built.
Right.
So much creativity. So
Yes.
much memories.
Yes.
Everything is happening when you just shut the TV off, the phone, put it on mute, put it to the side,
Facts.
and you actually have adult conversation.
Adult conversation.
Okay, let's add that. Adult conversations. So I love it.
So making sure you're being outgoing.
Right.
And I understand, like, especially now, I feel like a lot of, because of social media, it
Okay.
makes us kind of an introvert.
All right.
Where we are just more into our own mind, or you allow social media to think for you.
Gotcha.
Right? Or shape your opinion.
Okay.
Right? But to get yourself out of it, again, push it to the side,
Right.
turn it off.
Turn it off.
And allow your own, allow creativity to
Yes.
stir up within you.
Yes.
So the idea of last week for us not to really push out
Right.
an episode was to say, you know what? Let's stop being in people's faces and let's see if
Right.
somebody's gonna put down the phone. Where T said,
Yes.
when I walk in my family house, let's
Yes.
put the phones in the basket,
Yes.
and of course we could take the pictures.
Right.
But let me start being sociable.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
this is the season to actually exercise
Yes.
it, which what we are talking about.
Right.
So we said, you know what?
Facts.
Let's just postpone
Right.
our latest episode, or last week episode,
Right.
and allow the people to enjoy the family.
Yes.
And I'm saying to myself, like,
Right.
this is a great idea.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and implement this.
Right.
Where, families, people can build a relationship, just have an open conversation, or
Right.
just to say hi,
Yes.
right, as an intro.
Right.
So nervousness. So I want to get a little bit deep.
Okay.
Nervousness.
Yes.
Not telling your special individual, right, what's going on
Right.
with you.
What's going on with you?
Right?
Right.
Being self-conscious, where you do not want to express yourself to an individual.
Right.
Again, why would you be intimate, right, with a person, and you
Right.
do not want to socialize with that
Right.
person?
You
You,
could
do not want to,
Yes.
let's say, open yourself up. Let's say just run your mouth.
Be vulnerable.
Right.
Let it out.
Yes.
I love it.
Why not?
Why not? Hey, I think what we're doing is really we spreading slowly and surely, right? And it's just facts, okay? And I just had someone who just out of nowhere, I'll be like, what happened? But I love it.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, like you making me talk like I don't know what, I love it.
Right.
I was like, hey, talk to me. I would talk back.
Right. So and then getting over your shyness.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's a challenge. not read about, but I was taught about when I was in school.
Okay.
There was this guy, he wanted to get out of his shell, right? And what he did was he said he's going to talk to every girl he sees.
Oh, wow.
Because he wasn't approaching women. He was more of an introvert.
All right.
And he challenged himself.
I love that.
Right?
Okay.
To actually start talking to women. And the challenge was to talk to every single woman he saw.
Wow.
So as he's walking down the street, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Right.
Oh, that looks nice.
Right.
And then out of that, he learned how to have a conversation with a woman.
Right.
And I don't know if he's married or anything, but that study or the article was just that point that the professor was making was to get over yourself.
Yes.
And how to change your paradigm shift into what you want your reality to be.
Right.
So he wanted to be in a relationship. He wanted to share his life with somebody, but he had to get out of his shell.
So with you saying that example, right? I feel that that's a great tool to use.
Yes.
Because some people, more negative, some people might go to medication to help them
That is so true.
get over, that hump or get them through it versus overcoming it.
Well, I think it's over it.
Over it.
Like how you explain, but not to get through it.
Not to get through it.
Because the reason why I say that is because I think about it like this. A pill, let's say, is just momentarily, right? It's temporary.
Temporary.
Right?
I got you.
And I was going to use another analogy, but I didn't follow through in my brain just now.
Cool.
But it's just temporary.
All right.
And what happens is once it wears off, you go back. So you never, ever go through it how you mention it.
All right.
It's just to get you over the anxiety, right? But then you end up reverting back to having anxiety.
Go back to
You get what I'm saying? So what you have, in order to go through the situation, right, you will literally have to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Facts.
And I saw something that just opened my mind. Somebody said the word sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your, let's say, doubt, right? You have to sacrifice your nervousness, or sacrifice yourself to be an example for yourself.
Right.
And I think that's how you get through the situation.
I love it.
So I told myself, I said, I want to get out there and start talking to every female. It didn't work.
It didn't work?
Until I got on my Superman juice.
Okay. What's the Superman juice? What's that?
Would be in your cup, T.
Oh.
Right? And I saw the difference, not to promote it or anything like that, but I just saw the difference.
All right.
That's what my coworkers, that's what we call it, right? So you get on your Superman juice, and then what ends up happening, what stops you from, let's say, approaching is no longer there. And then you end up having conversations. You end up being friendly. You end up meeting your new business partner. You end up meeting your new marketing, let's say, a marketing personnel within your company. Because you're getting over your fear, right? To approach an individual, to be sociable, right?
Right.
And so opening the door, right? Or just walking through the door, let's say, you never know what's going to be on the other side. And I think this is why it's so important when you're having a relationship or wanting to accomplish a goal, you have to go through it.
You have to.
You have to just fight and get over yourself.
Have that courage.
Yeah. So I end up when I was young, kids, they was friendly. I was friendly when I was young. I was too. Until, Miami started shaping your mind to be a certain way. Right. But when you go out of Miami, you really realize that there are friendly people, and these people are helpful. They want to see you succeed. They want
they greet you. They speak.
They love
initiate conversation. You be like, wait.
So what are you into? Now I can share.
Yes.
Hey, I got Geminis Gemz popping for me. I'm a personality on YouTube with my partner, you know what I'm saying? So look us up.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And even I remember I went out one night.
Okay.
And the guy, he didn't bump me. He was like, he had hit me so he can let me see something he was seeing.
Okay.
And he touched me because he hit me because he was looking at this girl.
Okay.
And I said, bro, go get her.
Okay.
I said, bro, it don't make sense for you to sit here and tell right. And I said, let's just go. I said, come on, I'm gonna be your wingman, right? So I went on ahead and I said, hey man, and then I stepped back. He stepped in, and I was like, yeah, man. He was like, man, I appreciate you. What's your social media? What's this stuff? So I made a whole new friend.
Right. Just by helping him out.
Right.
Wow.
But then I take you negative.
Okay.
I went out before, was trying to order some food.
All right.
The guy literally was in front of me.
All right.
But there wasn't no organization. There was no line.
Okay.
So what I did was, I knew he was in front of me. I asked another guy that was on the other side of me.
All right.
I knew he was in front of me.
Okay.
So the lady came up, hey, who's next? I said, I think it's him. Right?
All right.
And so when I point at him, his head was like slightly down. So what I did was I just tapped him like, yo, bro, I think bruh snap.
Oh, because you touched him?
Listen. I was like,
really?
Yo, bro, it's not even that serious.
So he snapped because you woke him up?
No, he wasn't asleep, right? Well, he was just, his head was down.
I feel like his mind wasn't there. That's why I said woke him up.
So he probably was into his own land and he wasn't paying attention.
That's what I was saying. You woke him up.
So me sitting up there, hey, bro.
Hey, we do.
You get what I'm saying?
That's normal.
Don't touch me. Like, it's COVID out here. So why you in the club?
Wow.
You feel me? Like, why you even out in these streets?
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? And like, why are you even, my point.
That's
so
crazy.
Why you're even out? You get what I'm saying? Why we in the movie theaters? You get what I'm saying? So
you should stay home.
Right. If you feel that way,
stay home.
Oh, I got all white and you touch me. You know, bro,
wow.
It's not even that serious.
It's not.
It's not. And then the guy that was next, that was in front of me also, when I tapped him, he was like, oh, bet that up.
Thank you.
I'm like, but it depends on the individual.
Those Miamians, those foolishness. I'm sorry.
And so just to speak on this point, speak your truth in your relationship.
Right.
You know, make sure you let them know what's going on in your mind.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this: don't always keep it sad.
Right.
And don't always stay depressed.
No,
like,
that's
let's
not
have
fun.
some happy conversation.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like, what good happened to you? Know what? That's what I'm gonna start asking. Right. Instead of asking, well, how your day going?
Right. What's good?
What? And I asked. Well, I say that.
Okay.
What's good? Right.
Oh, I want to start.
But what I'm gonna ask is like, what good happened today with you?
What good happened today with you?
Let's talk about that.
I like that.
So whenever you see my name, you know it's positivity coming out. You feel me?
He was like, why he always happy?
You know why?
I love it.
You know why?
Why?
Because of my job.
Yes.
My job let me see the other side of life.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It opened my eyes. That we only have one life.
Yes.
And our mind takes us to a place
where
we end up being, I say, more negative, right? Our mind can take us there.
Right.
But we don't appreciate the smaller things in life.
I agree.
And the reason why we are full of ourselves and like we'll stay depressed and down because we always watching other people and what they have.
Right.
And the people that do have, they are the most saddest to me. Because they'll be the ones that strung out. You know, there's the ones that have the major addictions.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
They're the ones that don't have no drive in life.
No.
And the people that have less, it seems like they're the happiest.
Hello.
You know, like, okay, I'm going to say this. Homeless.
Okay.
Be the most happiest people sometimes. Depends on if they're strung out or not. But if they're homeless, or they don't have as much and they're comfortable in that, I seen it where they're happy because they don't have to worry. Hey man, you gotta go to work, not me. I'm asking. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel like, and even, some people that just don't care. They're just happy. They're happy with the pair of shoes. They're happy with the jeans. They're happy with the shirt. And they don't have to be the latest. Right. So they happy they have a job. You get what I'm saying? And I think they're happy that they're breathing.
Right.
I'm breathing again because I just had cancer or I just got over this illness.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, or I just walked away from this accident. They are very appreciative of life and having it here upon earth.
Hello.
So this is the switch. We're going into the spiritual part of the intimacy, which is to pray, fast, study.
Okay.
Also in this, you will find your purpose, order, structure, belief, foundation, the core and the nucleus of who we are as an individual. Right. So I know there's different nationalities or there's different belief systems. Right. But whatever your belief system can be or is, right, you have to find the core essence of your purpose in life, right?
Yes,
you have to find out why you was here upon earth, right? And in your spirituality, it should show you, So again, like I'm a Christian, right? So I believe in Christianity, right? Even though I don't follow all the way, that's my belief system.
Yes.
So it helps me to drive towards the purpose of my life, to take care of my kids, one day get married and take care of my wife.
Yes.
Also have good relationships, and let's say build something that can help someone else. Right. To come to this side and enjoy it. Now I understand that there's other dynamics that can take place with that, but to me, I don't focus on actually that. So I don't focus on pastors, preachers, and lying and stealing and all of that stuff, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings.
All humans.
So we're subject to fall some type of way.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
So I don't really focus on those things, but I focus on the great attributes of individuals.
Right.
Again. So praying, fasting, reading, studying, and for finding out your purpose.
Gotcha.
Is something within the dynamic of spirituality. What you got for me, T?
So when it comes to the spiritual intimacy, right? And this is what I'm learning as I'm growing. And I want my husband to be in the future. I want him to carry his family, like you said. So I want someone to be like, you know what, babe, let's get up and go to church.
Yep.
All right, let's get the kids ready. When we get back, we'll cook Sunday dinner. This is our time to rest.
I love that.
All right, so let's pray together.
Facts.
All right, I want to hear what you're praying, and so we can know what we need to pray together as a family. Guess what? Bring the kids. All right, so when it comes to the spiritual intimacy, I still need to grow in this dynamic, but I also want a man to be on my side, so that way he can lead his family, especially spiritually. Okay, and so even now, so I feel that in relationships, that are you guys praying together? Are you guys fasting together? Are you guys doing whatever in that in this category together, not separately, but do it together? Because if you praying over there and I'm praying over here, I can't hear you. I don't know your thoughts, but you telling God, which we do need to, but we need to do it together when it comes to the spiritual intimacy. So when I think of spiritual intimacy, I don't think it should be something single.
I got you.
You get it?
I got you. I just differ on that because you have to have a personal prayer, a personal life.
All right.
Because that's a one-on-one with God.
All right.
And not saying that because even the Bible tells you to fast.
Okay.
Right. Which is the time with him, but then make sure you come back to your spouse. Okay. Right? He expounds on that, right?
Gotcha. All right.
Or he expects that, right?
Okay.
So let me put it like that.
All right.
But I definitely concur with it. I think there needs to be more praying together, fasting together.
Okay.
Because there also is a scripture that tells you basically, if you have one to agree with you, you will probably get it more accomplished, right? So God will hear you even earnestly, right? So I definitely agree with that. Not to say you don't step away from, your family and have your one-on-one,
right?
Because everyone needs a one-on-one, a separation moment, and then to make sure they come back. But I definitely occur with that, especially with the kids. Praying together with the kids will build foundation.
Yes.
And let's say when the kids get older and they get in trouble or they find themselves in a hard place, they know. They know who to go to. Oh, my parents did this, so let me do the same thing. Because it seemed like it helped out, their dynamic, and also this may help out mine.
Yes, it will.
So I think that praying together, especially with the kids as a family, that's why I believe in turning off the TV.
Yes.
Putting the phone down.
Put those tablets, all the devices.
Yeah, I had to take the tablet from my son. He'd be like, when I had her last week, he was like, Dad, can I get the laptop? I said, no, not right now. He was like, okay. And then he went to playing, being creative.
Right.
And then I was saying, now you can get the, then he came back. Hey, can I get the laptop? I said, yeah, you can get your iPad. Okay, Dad, iPad.
I love it.
Right. So, just separate. And then I saw him pray while we was eating. So I said, you know what? I'm going to pray with you.
Okay.
Amen. Like, I'm going to make sure I say it with you. You know what? You going to pray this time and I'm going to pray this time.
I love it.
And you're building.
Yes.
You're building.
I love
my
it.
son is being built to have a prayer life.
Yes.
And it starts with the dinner table.
Right.
And then it grows and expands from there.
Right.
Also, not being, I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Not being, being equally yoked. Right. Having the same belief system. I definitely concur. I definitely agree with this. Okay. Right. To this extent. If you believe, and I'm just going to say this, if you believe in Buddha, if you believe in, what's the other religion? I don't want to talk about Buddha. Okay. But, Muhammad, right? And the Islams and all of that. Okay. Right. If you believe in that group, don't be with somebody that is a Christian. If you're a Christian, don't go and be with people that do yoga.
I have a statement to add to that.
Go ahead.
But what if the couple, both parties, were a Christian, and then in your marriage, one person changed?
That's a great question.
What happens? Because I know a couple.
Okay.
And it's not good. It is hell. But
that's why. Because they're not equally yoked.
Wow. But why? Why would you change your religion or your belief system during your marriage if that's not what I signed up for?
Right. So I mean, this is the first answer that always come up.
Okay.
You have to seek counsel. Right? Even if you don't believe in it, you still need to seek counsel. Right? Either or. You have to understand the individual. And a lot of times people don't want to understand what you're doing.
Right.
And why you switched over. Right? Or why you start to believe in what you believe.
Gotcha.
And I believe that's why you got to turn off everything and focus more on your relationship.
I agree.
Right? And once you start to put this person, let's say, first in your life, right?
Right.
Not over God, but just first. And you start to understand, have the dialogue, right? Have the conversation. What made you turn? And you can begin to understand. So you can start to live with a friend instead of an enemy. Right?
Wow.
Because nobody's saying that them two are always going to agree on every single thing.
Right.
And if so, that's
I got
perfect.
You. I got
right?
you.
But with that is something serious, and then that's the clashing of the titans.
Yes.
Right. That's the being unequally yoked. That's having a turmoil house.
Yes.
The house is just going to be torn apart.
It is.
Internally.
It is.
Right. And then stuff starts to come upon the individual.
Yes.
Separately.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So to get on the question and try to work it, massage it till I find an answer.
Right.
Why the switch? And once you find out why, then you can start building from there. And why do people switch? I think that's one of the questions you had.
Right.
I would say sometimes it's because of growth or who they giving their attention to, right? Because people can grow over time, but let's say if they was cultivated by a different, let's say, religion.
Okay.
It's new profound knowledge that they never heard before. They never did a general study of all the religions. Gotcha. So they was easily manipulated by someone else's religion. Okay. And then they'll be drawn away from it. Right. You get what I'm saying? So what their foundation was, and then once the other religion starts to pick out on that religion or not favor some of their tactics, right? They begin to point those things out, and then you start to personally say, well, wow, that is true. Right. And then you start to be led astray. You get what I'm saying? So that's how the different religions actually started. There was one, let's say, profound religion, but then after a period of time, people started to say, well, I don't like this part. I don't like that part. Then they created a new religion.
Got you.
And then they would take from the other religion, and then they'll start creating a new religion. So then over time, you just start having all of these municipalities of religions. And that's how that came about. So, yeah, that's how I believe that works itself into something new. Yeah, so just going back, right? Just to bring it back, make sure that you're equally yoked. And make sure this person has the same type of belief system that you have. Right. And with that, I believe that you'll begin to build a healthy relationship. And I think a lot of people don't even focus on the spirituality. You get what I'm saying? Of their dynamic. They don't even know what they believe in. And I mean, if you believe in social media and that's your God, you get what I'm saying? Make sure that person that you're with is on the same thing. If you believe in Gucci, and Louis Vuitton, right? Or Birkins, right? If that's what you believe in, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, right? No, I'm not gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that's right. Okay, because I'm trying to be. I guess the word is biased, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to be balanced, but I'm gonna say this: I don't believe in it, right? All right. It doesn't give any purpose to life, right? But if you believe in that, Mercedes Benz and the Bugattis and all of these things, right? Lamborghinis. So find somebody that does. Yes. And then you all will balance each other out. Right. You get what I'm saying? But don't be with somebody that, don't turn around and you find somebody that likes what you like and then say, I don't want that person. I want somebody different. Right? Right. No. Find somebody that believes what you believe in, and you'll find out your relationship will be better. You
That's why we have like the common interests.
Right.
This is why
you and that whole opposite attract stuff.
That's why you hear T. I was about to say that. This is why you hear T. Was like, how in the heck the opposite attract?
You got me on that one.
This is why I said it.
You got me on that one.
How in the heck opposite attract? For me. Let me speak for me. Right. So I just wanted to say that.
So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next one.
All right.
Financial.
Ooh,
intimacy.
That's financial intimacy out there?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw this one in there.
I didn't know financial intimacy.
And the reason why I say that because it brings a certain type of intimacy within the relationship. It brings happiness or sadness in a relationship. Yes,
it's like finances and the physical intimacy. Those like the top two.
They are
that will break up a divorce. I mean, that will break up a marriage.
Yes,
almost hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like it's no one or two. It's just
it could break up a friendship.
Yeah, that too.
And the relationship.
Yeah.
All the ships.
All the ships. And the ship just goes sinking.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
So in this dynamic, I know most people, especially women, they don't want to talk about their money.
I'm open to talk about my money.
I know you are.
I am.
You're a different breed.
I'm open to talk
But
about it.
To generalize it,
All
right? And not to say all women, right?
Okay.
But most women do not like to talk about their finances.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But men are always told to make sure they're supporting and they have finances to support their loved ones. So I believe this is the reason why this plays a factor into intimacy, being intimate with your partner on a different degree, right? So we should be talking about monthly expenses, saving account, dating. I put dating expenses, right?
Yes.
Vacationing, shopping, kids, daycare. I just throw that in
Everything.
there, right? Ownership, if you want to own a business and stuff like that. Saving, building together, separation. How you all basically gonna if y'all separate, how the money is gonna be dispersed. Just saying,
right.
And I love this one I put because I think a lot of women don't take this into consideration. Student loan debt, car notes, and past relationship debts.
Yes,
that men have to get you out of.
Women too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Right,
women too.
So so I don't hear about. This is what I don't hear about men's student loan debt that women help them get out of. But you know what I do hear of? Child support.
That too.
From dating a guy. Right. If you date a guy and he has child support, the woman is affected by it.
Yes, of course, because it's taking money out of
out of the family.
Out of the family, out of the house.
Right. You were finna say out of the woman.
Yeah.
I'ma drop gems. I'ma drop a gems
I had to stop.
for me because that's exactly what you was gonna say.
I had to catch myself.
I know, but I caught it.
Yes,
so fellas, I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes.
Listen,
they think about their money. Listen, somebody told me this years ago. They was like, "My money is my money. Your money is my money."
That's messed up. That's messed up. But no, seriously, on a serious note, Steve Harvey said this years ago.
Okay.
That I remember. He said it was I don't know if it's current marriage or past marriage, but he said in his marriage, right, is his bank account is her bank account.
Facts.
Right?
Yep.
They still have their separate accounts.
Yep.
But what they have joint accounts for are the joint account for bills, the joint account for savings, the joint account for family time, for the vacation, you know, those expenses.
I love it.
So, and then he also had his personal savings. She also had her personal savings. So I was like, when I get into marriage, we doing that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
Granddad.
All right.
That's what he did.
Okay.
My granddad made sure my grandma had her account, her savings account, but he made sure she had a savings and a spending account.
Yes.
And then he made sure she had a $50,000 credit card.
I love that.
Because he was like, if he ever gets stuck, she would never get stuck.
Okay.
If she ever gets stuck somewhere, she would never get stuck.
Okay.
She will always be able to move.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And then he'll take care of the bill.
Okay.
Right? And then she had another credit card that she would buy like house stuff for.
Right.
All right. So that's what he made sure she had. And then he asked her to give him a X amount of dollars.
Okay.
And then that was towards maybe the house or whatever needs to be taken care of within the home.
Within the home.
And then my granddad, he did the same thing. But he just separated his money in several different accounts.
Okay.
But he made sure he put money into the account so that my grandma can always see that there's money in the account. And my grandma, she used to look in the account. Okay, before I go there.
All right.
What I loved about my grandparents' relationship was my granddad never really hid money from my grandma.
Love it.
She did have access, but she had enough respect for my granddad to never touch his money.
Thank you.
Even though she saw what she did see in his account, she never touched his money. Because she always felt like I'm hurting my own.
Right.
You know, and I think that's why their dynamic lasts so long. You get what I'm saying? Because she did not overstep herself and involved herself. So I remember I was dating this girl and we was at the gas station and I was like, yo, put X amount of dollars in the tank.
Okay.
Trust. Right? So she goes in there. I pump. I ain't thinking nothing of it. She comes out with the soda.
Okay.
And I'm like, where you get the soda from?
Right.
I mean, like the money for the soda. I know you don't got no cash on you right now. She was like, oh, I had a couple of dollars in my pocket.
Okay.
So I pumped the tank. I know how much I gave you. It's like, let's say $5 less than what I gave. And I say, why would you take from your own when you could just ask?
Right.
So I knew right then and there I couldn't trust her with money. You get what I'm saying? So if I was to try to build something with the individual, I know I can't build it with her.
I like that because I'm in a place I'm always asking, and an individual be like, why you keep asking? Just go. But I'm like, no, I have to ask. Like, regardless if you 99.9% is going to say yes, but out of respect, I'm going to ask before I touch anything that belongs to you. Right. And that's how I roll.
Right. Okay. So that's great. That's a great attribute.
That's a great attribute.
Right? Because you're always conscious of other people's stuff. And I agree. Can I do this? Can I do that? Oh, no, this is your house. You can do whatever too, right? No,
you have to ask.
Like that.
This is not ours. So I have to ask.
So with also finances, there comes limitations. So the limits should be expounded on. Don't think that you're all by yourself. There should be a load balancer. Right. Don't put the load on one person in relationship. Right. There should be balance. Yes. Now I understand if I'm making X amount of dollars, it's probably stuff that the girl is just not going to pay for. Right. But if I don't, and we're working to build, or we're just in our relationship, and I wanted to say this too, in every relationship, you're not gonna build. You're just gonna live your regular life. Right. So in that, you should be content in that stage where you still enjoy. Stop paying attention to other people, especially their finances. Stop counting their pockets. Somebody told me that, are you counting my pockets? I said, how the world I'm counting your pockets when I'm just asking you a question? Right. I'm not counting your pockets so I got my own.
Thank you.
Clearly I got my own.
Facts. Facts.
Right. So I'm not asking for that. Right. Sometimes I come in and I want to help. Right. And that's just how I am. Yep. But I'm not trying to be in your pockets, man. Like,
I think it's us helping like financially with these Geminis.
Right.
I don't know what
we're doing. Because I want to see people win. So I think I'm a little balancer, right? Okay. So I sit up there and be like, man, you should do this and that, this and that with your money. Right. And then you will grow over time. Yep. And then, they'll say, oh, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And go from there. But setting the limitations and executing it, especially financially, and accomplishing your goal. So if it's for you to get $100,000 together, right? And I remember a couple I know of, they set up there and they saved up $24,000. Wow! And because they wanted to buy a property before they got married. Okay. Right, so they did. Okay. They ended up buying a property. They saved up the 24. All right. Put down on the house. Even though their relationship didn't work, they just split the cost. They sold. So actually, he ended up buying her out, and he ended up getting the apartment. Getting the duplex himself. Okay. And she was satisfied with that.
That's sad that they ended that way.
Right. It did. But what I loved about it was they were mature. Right. It wasn't, oh, this mine's and you better give me my money. It probably was some little discrepancies within it, but they still worked out the kinks. And they was more, I'd say, mature, right, to make sure they execute, like they ended well with that type of financial, because people are ugly when it comes down to finances.
Hello, and it's the holidays. Right. So while we talk about finances, how do you think we all should maneuver together during the holidays, during your financial intimacy with your significant other or someone that you're dating? Like, what conversations should we be having during these times on a positive note?
On a positive note, the conversations that we should have, I think you should answer that, T.
Okay, so I feel like we all should have a budget. Like, start off with your budget. Start off, like, you know what? We should not go into debt right now because of the holidays. You understand? So I feel that you individually, also with your significant other, your spouse, whoever that person is, like, have those real conversations and be like, you know what? This is all I want to spend. And it's regarding traveling. presents, Christmas lights, Christmas trees, all of this add up because you still got to pay the bills. You still got to keep everything, your house floating on top of the holidays, scheduling. So why we don't have these real conversations? You understand?
Yep.
So I feel that these conversations, for me, what I'm learning, these need to be happening right when school starts. So now that we got school out the way, August is out the way, we need to talk about the holidays.
Right.
Because the holidays come so fast. October,
Facts.
November, December. The last quarter of the year is kicking our butts.
Right.
So I feel like, how can we tackle it? And that's when communication come in. That's when honesty come in. And so when it comes to the financial intimacy, I feel that that's a major part.
Right.
Let's start a budget.
Right.
And let's figure it out. And let's stick to the budget.
Right.
And I just wanted to add that.
I love that idea.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you 2 examples.
All right.
One, I did that before. I was dating a woman.
Okay.
And as we were dating, I saw how her financial situation was. And I'm not like a save, like I'm gonna come in and just pay all your bills. I'm not gonna save you like that. What I'm gonna save you is by showing you a tactic that will be able to last throughout your life, right? So said, hey, listen, the school season is about to come up. So I'm gonna give you this first.
Okay.
The first example.
All right.
There's quarters in the year, right?
Yep.
4 quarters in a year.
Yep.
Every 3 months, there's a quarter, right?
Yep.
So I believe in those quarters, you should save in 2 of the quarters and spend in 2 of the quarters.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So the quarters, the 9 times that you're going to spend in, and I mean a lot of money,
All
is
right.
always, if you have kids, is
Yeah.
doing
The
the
summer?
interim. Right. Right. Because you're going to spend money, like you said, in the summer.
Yep.
Put them in summer school, right?
Everything.
And as well as the beginning weeks of
Yep,
school, right?
yep.
So you're gonna spend money towards that,
Yep.
buying supplies and all those things.
Yep.
And then right after is Christmas,
Everything.
right? So if you got kids, you most likely gonna spend at the end of the year, right? So you're gonna spend the last 2 quarters. So you have to save the first 2 quarters
Right.
to have money for the last 2 quarters.
Yep.
And if you have a budget system like that,
Yep.
you'll be able to, let's
Breathe.
say, right. I was going to say withstand the weather of bills
Yes.
over time.
Yes.
So when I was dating her, it worked. And she saw it.
Right.
She had extra money because she was saving X amount of dollars
Gotcha.
every month. And she came to me so happy.
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know. And then there's a
Yes.
time to shop as well.
Right.
So that's why I say set the limits.
Right.
And then from there execute it.
Yeah, hello.
Right?
Yes.
So as we're ending it now.
Okay.
Because we're gonna leave the last intimacy for our next episode.
All right.
Which is
all
the
right.
physical.
The physical.
Right?
Yes.
So yeah. So I think that's a long chapter. And it's gonna be more probably tea talking.
Listen, this is adult conversation.
Facts.
Let me just say that.
So the intimacies that we basically brought forth today
Yes.
is the emotional, being
Yes.
sociable, spiritual, and financial.
Hello.
So as we close this door or just step out of the
We're
room,
gonna step out the room.
yeah, we're gonna step. I think this the living room.
That was the living room.
I think so.
Hey, what's that song by Bruno Mars? Let me leave
listening.
this. I'm gonna leave that door open.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, let's leave that door open. We're gonna walk them in.
Yeah.
next
So
week.
yeah. So
Okay, all right. Hey, you know that move,
Look,
right?
yeah, she
That
already
there.
right. Right.
Hey, adult conversation.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you're excited about
Oh goodness, can we please wrap this up?
it. Don't rush me, woman. So yeah,
It was just memories.
yeah, I know.
just had a
you got
flashback.
somewhere to go.
I just had a flashback.
You gotta-
I didn't
you
want to
gotta
bring
toot
it
it
out.
up.
I ain't wanna bring it out. Ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Right. So so we're stepping out of this room
Yes.
and we're gonna go into another room next week.
All right.
Most likely the bedroom.
That's the bedroom.
Right.
Hey.
Well, you don't just leave it in the bedroom.
No, but we
Yeah.
can start it there.
Right.
We can start it.
We can start
We
from the
can
living
start-
room
we
and
can-
go up.
Hey, we
Yeah.
can start in the living room and go to the bedroom.
So yeah, in our conclusion,
All right.
make sure you have a great week.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
And make sure you work on building a healthy relationship
Yes.
by working on the different topics that we did talk about.
Yes.
And take it one day at a time.
One day. No
Hey,
stress.
yeah.
T is on this.
Yeah.
No stress.
Right. And keep yourself happy.
What?
Right. So happy holidays.
Yes.
For one.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm your boy DP.
Hello.
This my girl T.
Yes.
And we Gemini Gems.
Yes.
That's Geminis with the S. Gems with the Z. And what we do, T?
Hey, we drop them gems.
We drop them gems.
Hey.
All right. Y'all take care.